Yo, what's the word, man? Shorty here, aka Reggie Son, and right now we building with UlstnMedia. Let's build.
It's your boy Loudy on the track. Got the beats for you, Reggie.
What's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing?
Fine.
I go by the name of Shorty, you know I'm GCB or whatever.
Hold on. GC. I ain't no ratchet.
Hey man, I'm tired of this.
This is UlstnMedia's Build Series, a platform specifically for independent artists and creators. Today I have a very, very special guest in the studio with me. He has been seen and heard on every aspect of media, whether television, radio, music, or social media. He's hosted BET's 106 in Park and is a successful recording artist, previously signed to Atlantic Records. He is the creator of STL Music Fest in St. Louis and is the CEO and founder of the Give Black Ball. He has been a radio personality in markets such as Detroit, Washington, D.C., Cleveland, and St. Louis. Welcome you, my very special guest, Jordan Blue, a.k.a. Jordan Johnson.
Jordan Blue. How you he done pulled Jordan Blue out of here. What the hell is, man? Yeah, what's up with it?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, man. Shorty here, a.k.a. Reggie second son, a.k.a. tell your auntie I left my sock over there. Man, I'll be back over there later.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I was really messing with Jordan Blue, man. I like that name, man.
Yeah, that was during a phase where I was like, there's been several periods of like my career where I've been like on some like rebellious shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was like right after 106.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like angry at a lot. And I'm like, man, don't call me Shorty. Don't call like I don't want no reference to nothing I done done. Like, and then like another family that I came up with in St. Louis, the Blue family, like I always been, that's like my family, so it was a hasty decision, but and I dropped some dope records under that too. That's why I feel like I done lived a few different lives, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, that's Still Coolin' was the
Still Coolin', yeah. We shot that outside of the Flamingo. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's That was a nice phase, man. But then what else threw me off about it too? I had Googled it one time and I saw that Jordan Blue was like the name of a porn star. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, nah. And I think somebody had commented on some one time, like the porn star? I was like, oh, fuck no.
Man, we're going to put that tag on you.
Yeah. I mean, you might have seen me in action. I don't know who to leak my little, you know what I'm saying? But goddamn.
For sure, man. But how would you describe your childhood?
My childhood was... what's crazy is I don't think my childhood was typical at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with my family and my foundation, I was very much still allowed to be a child. And I didn't. But when you think about it, man, I got on the radio at 12 years old and kind of threw my family into something that they had never been a part of,
Mm-hmm.
And they were fully supportive, of course, taking me to the radio station and all. But I was never like, even when I got to the point of like, I guess like fame or notoriety on a certain level, even locally, I remember like getting chased through the mall with Jaquan and stuff, like, like stuff like that. I was never like intangible. Like I was always, I went to St. Louis public schools. So I was like going to, like I was still in the mall. I was never in no private school. I was never tucked off. I still was doing that and then still going to be on the radio at night. So I was still very much a kid, but it was kind of wild being able to be the voice of a generation of your peers and everything is, public. So like my graduation was a promotion on the radio. My homecomings and proms, when I would get into beefs with other niggas in school, like I'm talking about it on the radio that night. I remember like being in class and let's say if I get a grade that ain't so good, even my teachers would be like, talk about that tonight. Like it was like, so it wasn't necessarily like normal, but it was I still found that balance in it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why that my connection is so strong to our peers and things of that nature, like here in the city, just because everybody kind of grew up together and people got to actually hear me grow up, you know. So it wasn't like a traditional childhood, but I mean, I loved it, man. Like
You I mean, like the time when you got on the radio, um, that period of time, you know, St. Louis was, in terms of music and entertainment, was super, super hot.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Was super hot.
yeah,
And like, you know, you were, you know, like one of the young voices for, you know, the kids your age and all of us. It was like we was with you. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean?
mm-hmm,
And so
yeah,
like it was definitely like you know, an experience, you know what I mean? Because you felt like, you know, you was part, like we was all part of it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like we
yeah,
was all a part of this great thing that was happening in St. Louis. You know,
yeah,
where we finally getting some attention and praise and accolades and stuff that, you know, we was deserving, man. So you were definitely a part of that.
yeah, for
How
sure.
how did you end up on the radio?
It was a contest. It was when I was in the 7th grade, man. I used to come home every day and call the radio station. And my boy D Stone, one of my mentors to this day, he was on the radio and he used to do something called D Stone Karaoke. And so I would call, and I think it was like the first day that I actually heard myself on the radio, like play the game. It was like a game where you had to like rap the songs that was on the radio or something like that. And I got through and I heard myself on the radio. And ever since that day, I was like, man, I'm gonna hear myself every day. Because I was like writing raps in my room and stuff by then. So it was like I was literally being able to hear myself rap on the radio. So I'm like, hell yeah. So every day from school, I come home, and then one day I called and he was like, yo, we finna do this contest. They was calling it the world's youngest DJ, even though it wasn't a DJ. And I was like, originally I told him, like, man, I said, man, I want to rap. I ain't trying to do all that, you know? And then he like, from that, he saw, I guess, heard something in me because he had never met me. So I don't want to say saw something. I guess heard something in me and was like, put me on hold one day and had like a full conversation with me. Like, man, you don't know what type of doors this scope and wop and did the contest and won the contest and was able to introduce B2K at the Palace that night. They had like a big skate party, and from there it was like fast forward to when I was 16, no, about 2 years later, when I was about 14, 15, that's when they told me that the contest was only supposed to be for a month. But I just kept showing up. I'm like, you know, that's what it is. And then, you know, God aligned it to where when I turned 16, they hired me full time.
I mean, they had to wait till you turn 16. You know,
Yeah.
we got
Yeah,
child
'cause they
labor
couldn't.
laws.
The child labor law. But what's crazy is like I was doing it the whole time before then. I was doing it for free. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I mean, how much did I need as like a 12, 13-year-old kid, J's, you know, like whatever. So, and then, you know, I started realizing my draw and I'm like, okay, start throwing little parties and you know what I'm saying? So I was able to do stuff like that. But yeah, man, it was dope, man. It was dope. And I don't think that, you know, I don't know if people understand how, first of all, how difficult it is just to remain sane every day in life itself.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think enough is said to commend people who just have a sane mind and a pure heart just maneuvering life, period. So then when you talk about me from 12 years old maneuvering the industry that's wicked from that young and being to this point and still having the same mind and a pure heart and not doing things out of ill intent and not like, and so that's what I want people to kind of understand, like even about me is that, you know, I know who I am regardless of what I'm attached to.
And this is like none of your peoples had no type of experience in the entertainment.
No, like
music,
not my
radio.
direct family, no. Like I mean, I was able to pick up on stuff as I went, but I literally was learning as I was going.
Yeah.
Like I was making mistakes. I was, you know, still making mistakes. And
no like, formal training, nothing like that.
Nah, bro. Like I got on the radio from being a shit talker. Like that's what it was. Like that when I went up there, I'm like, yo, I'm a little nigga. I was way cockier when I was younger, but I'm like, yeah, like what's this? Like talking my shit, I could do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's all it was to me. And then I was able to hone my skills and turn it into like a career. And, you know, had a lot of people throughout my career who gave me game or just pulled me under their wing, or just like, I was always very observant and absorbent. So like I could watch stuff and then I could take things in and say, okay, I like how he did this, but I would do it like this. And you know what I'm saying? So that's how I've always been.
Like, so get on the radio. After that, you did you get signed to Atlantic right after that?
Yeah,
or?
I got signed. Yeah, probably like about a year and a half, maybe 2 years after I was on the radio. I started working with Track Boys.
And then that's when the Wop Wop Wow came out.
No. Wow 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 was actually the first song I did outside of my deal.
So you didn't do that while you were signed?
No. That's what's so crazy about it. It's like Wow 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 was probably the first. I guess, well, I was doing like songs and that before that, but that was the first time I went to the studio and was just like, man, I'm going to do what I want to do. Because when I was younger, even before when I was signing Track Boys and E3, it was like, okay, we're going to do you a song like this. Or, okay, this is, Wow 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 was the first song I went to. Me and Loudy cooked up the beat. We cooked up 3 different beats. I knew the concept I wanted to do because we was already doing the chant in the club. So it was like that was and you know that was the first song I did outside of Track Boys at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because Tardin produced that record, so it's like after Wow 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 I got it going crazy. I'm trying to like I just remember like trying to talk to people at the label like, yo, I got a record now, and they looking like, we don't talk to you. Like, where's Tarboy?
Right.
Like, we don't. I'm like, no, I'm telling y'all, like, I got a record now. So, you know, but yeah, Wow 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 was, I did Wow 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 when I was, what was it, 2008? So, like 17, 18, something like that.
So, like, when you got signed,
Yeah.
did they sign you just because they seen
They
you?
signed me off of mixtape records. Like,
Okay.
when I went to, Tarboy, of course, had Jaquan. And this was when Tipsy, like I'm in the Tipsy video. Like I'm like, had no business being there. But I'm like in there, everybody was like, it was like this small house on the block in U City. My mama had dropped me off and everybody like, make sure Shorty don't, drinking this. And I wasn't worried about drinking, but I was just happy to be there. I think me and DJ Tab were the youngest 2 in there. And yeah, man. So Tarboy, he saw me and believed in me. And we just was like, I would just, in my room, like, writing. So I was just rapping over, like, jack tracks, mixtape tracks. And so when we was going to these labels, like I'm rapping in front of L.A. Reid over mixtape records. I'm rapping in, in front of Leora Cohen and all these people. I don't have no original records. And they like signing me off for like, oh, this kid's a star,
Okay.
Okay. And so I went and like did like a whole album under Atlantic. And we just like burnt the budget up like doing the album, and it just like never came out. So that's when I first met like Trey Songz and BG and T-Pain and all these people, because I was like doing records with them. You know what I'm saying?
So when what? Because that was huge. It's a classic.
It's crazy. Like still to this day, like when I see it or pop out.
When you had the hit though, was you still signed when you had the hit?
Yes, but that was kind of my hindrance, because nobody who had anything to do with me being signed had anything to do with that record. So it was like nobody was really trying to hear me. They was like, they didn't realize how big the record was, because they was used to having a hand in everything I was doing. So they like, well, it can't be that big because we didn't have nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that's how it felt. And I just remember one time, I forget the artist that came in town. I had gave them like a CD and while I was on there, and they called me from the bus and was like, matter of fact, it was Bow Wow. That's crazy. It was Bow Wow. And they called me from the bus like, oh, this shit, man, what's up? We finna. And when they called me, they was like, man, we finna set something up for you, whatever, off of this record. And then they called me back and was like, oh, we can't touch you because you signed still. So, but who I was signed to wasn't trying to. So then they end up like releasing me, and it was just me just out here,
So no labels wanted to pick up the Wow Wow Wow.
No, not at that time. It was just me. You gotta think it was a different time too. So it's like So put it like this: if there was like TikTok and stuff back then, you know, like that's like out of here. Like if you think about stuff like that. But I was just really, and I was young too, so I don't know. I was just happy. I mean, we getting show money.
Because at that time, like, I believe I heard you say on a previous interview, you had the #1 song and the number one
show.
radio show in the city.
At the same time. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, you know, I got like different nods and stuff on it. I just think that I didn't. The biggest thing was that even though by that time I had been in the industry for, I guess, you know, since I was 12 or whatever, and I'm 17, 18 now, I still didn't know business.
Yeah.
So it was like that's what was hindering me because I didn't necessarily know how, and I didn't have the right guidance to, I guess, like, you know, do that, and everybody else kind of doing their thing. And I was up, but I was also too, like, I was still a kid, still a teenager, right? So it's like, you know, sometimes even before Wild, like Tar and them would be coming to pick me up from like little chicks' house and stuff. They like, man, you gotta come get in the studio, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, young and popping and just getting my issues.
I mean, that particular time, you know, we in high school, you signed on the radio.
Yeah.
You living it up, man. You know?
Yeah, no, it was, I mean, it was, yeah, man, it was a great time. I'm so blessed to, you know, have experienced that and, you know, still be able to do my thing.
Yeah, you said, I was looking at another one of your previous interviews where you were saying, like, with a lot of love that you was getting from the record and just being on the radio and stuff, there was a lot of hate that came. Like, what did...
Yeah, I think that, you know, that's something else that comes along with being young is that, you know, you get energy reciprocates, you know, so I don't even know if well, first of all, we was younger, so it probably was more because it's like people being able to see me and, you know, that's back when we beefing with niggas, getting little fights and doing all this stuff, and I'm messing with his girl and this nigga baby mama and this, it's just, you know, you just young, and then especially back then, it wasn't like I'm avoiding controversy or conflict.
Yeah.
I'm like, nigga, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So I remember one time it was like at an award show and I got the award and I went up there and I was like, man, yeah, man, and fuck all the haters or whatever, right? And that's what they printed in the newspaper.
Wow.
It was like, you know, Shorty accepted his award, and my pops had read it. And he was like, you know, son, you know, basically like, is this what you want to like be the thing? Like this what you want people to read, or that's the message you want to get across? Like it's just as easy to go up there and say appreciate all the love. You know what I'm saying? But when you caught up in, you know, it just depends on where your mental is at. So just like when I left St. Louis originally.
Shout out to Black Fathers, man.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Reggie, man, my pops. When I left St. Louis originally, I did have that, you know, like, man, this city be hating or whatever it is. I had the love, but so then when I came back, like as a superior man, I started really paying attention to like what you say and what you put out there is real. So it's almost like a radio and a dial, right? Like when you adjust your radio to, you know, whatever the station is, right? When you adjust your radio to 96.3, you're only going to receive the signal that 96.3 sends out there. So once I adjusted my dial to like love over hate, that's all I see and receive. Not that the other stuff ain't going on. I just can't, it just don't get to me because that's not what my dial is set to. So I had to do some growing and just, you know what I'm saying, adjust what I was giving out there. And so I encourage other people to do the same when I go places and or even see posts and people like, man, that's why this city or this. I'm like, y'all don't say that because that's contributing to it. When you say that, that opens it up for people to be like, hell yeah, it is. Instead of you saying, hey man, we the shit, man. Man, everybody showing love. That once you do that, it opens it up for more people to do. And that's when I start really receiving things that I want. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when I start moving in, and that's why it even made it more comfortable for me to like. I go anywhere by myself. Like it don't, because I know what I move off of. And it might even throw somebody else off, even if you don't know me. And in your mind, you like, man, whatever. But if I come in the room and I'm exuding love and whatever like that, you gonna feel dumb. Cause what you hating?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, what is there to hate? Like,
this was so like your mindset of just transitioning and thinking differently. This was like after your teenage years or during your teenage years.
This was probably
like,
this was
like after 106 or before.
After 106, I was still adolescent mindset. I think that since I started so young, you know, even 10 years, like you gotta think, I started at 12, 13, even 10 years after that, it's still 22, 23, that's still young.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm still trying to figure it out and whatnot, but I had a point in my life where I had like stepped away from everything after I left DC. And I went to Cali and disconnected from everything, no social media. And I started strengthening my relationship with God and reading more and working more on my fitness and my mental. And I think in that period of time, without outside influences, it allowed me to not only like return to my natural state, but also grow and just be open to, you know, look at what matters, at what matters to me. Because that's what I had to do. Like, when I first started, I was chasing fame, no doubt about it. Like, I saw the TV, I saw people on there, I'm like, I want to be there. Heard the radio, heard people, I want to be there. Like, the lights put me in front of it. That's what I want to be. And so I got it on a little level of everything. I got signed. I got to BT. I got to Fox. I got to syndicated radio. I got to all these places. And nothing was what I thought it would be.
So just to back up a second. So like at 106.
Yeah.
To all of us who experienced 106 in Park, man, it was legendary show.
Yeah, for sure.
You got a chance to be on it. What was your experience like on that show?
Damn, man, I just remember like being in my room and watching 106. And I just remember telling myself like, man, I'm gonna get on that couch. And then I remember getting to New York and I just remember it was a point after the show I went and I sat on that couch, bro. And I was just like, damn. You know? Like, I said I was gonna come. And it was like, it's God's plan versus your plan. I always looked at it like, man, I'm gonna be on that couch as an artist, woo. And I'm on this couch as a host. But I'm on this couch. And it just lets you know that was another revelation, because sometimes you can get so caught up in how you feel like shit should go, and you know, sometimes you gotta just let things play out, and you know, and it still can play out in your favor, just not how you see it. But yeah, man, that was a major accomplishment for me to come from the south side of St. Louis to make it to, you know, BT.
You said something very interesting though, like about your experience on 106 in Park. You said, I knew immediately why when you got there, why 106 in Park wasn't the 106 in Park we grew up with.
Yeah.
What? Well,
yeah.
What did
you could just see that you was jumping on a sinking ship.
There was a transition period, and you was part of that.
Yeah.
Where they got rid of Free and AJ, and a lot of people who lived through it saw them crying before they left the show, and then they brought on some new people, and you was one of the.
Well, this was after Terrence and Roxy. After Terrence and Roxy.
Yeah. So you was part of that team. So like, what did you see that you was like, this not what we came up with?
Part of it was me seeing the inner workings of like what mattered to them per se. And then also there was around a time when reality shows were becoming like the top rated shows. Like Love and Hip Hops and I don't know if Bad Girls Club probably one of them, or Housewife, all this stuff. Like the more the dramatic stuff was becoming. And I saw that they were trying to not necessarily stay true to what 106 did, but kind of compete with
the reality shows.
The reality show. And I was just thinking to myself, like, dog, 106 is a standalone.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
a music show, but it was like they were like people aren't watching. I mean, that's when they got to the point they wasn't showing the whole videos no more. They was like, and I just started seeing it, and then like even like inner things that happened when I was there of like them trying to insert drama into the hosting dynamic, and them trying to, and I'm like,
How like create risk between
yeah,
the
like
hosts?
like they were trying to like at one point they were trying to like get me and Bow to go at it, and then like, I was on there with somebody who I was in a real relationship with, so
Mhm.
they was trying to like create a divide there. So it was like I just saw it, and I think that's why I said when I left there, I was like, man, on some anti stuff because you just see that like it's not about what you think it should be about. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Man.
So
After that whole experience, that's when you was like,
yeah, because you got to think that's when. Yeah, that's when I got to, that level. And of course, part of me feeling like, oh, nigga, like, shit, we here. Like, I think I had signed, I think we at least supposed to be there like 4 years or something. And I think like maybe a year and a half afterwards. And then even the way it played out, it was like a thing where they, although like coming up, like somebody like Bow Wow looked up to is like, it's Bow Wow, nigga, everybody,
Yeah.
whatever. But then he became like my coworker.
yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, okay. And then it's like, they was taking his advice to like do it, but it was just totally wrong because this is somebody, Bow Wow does not represent like the people. He's
Yeah.
never been normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So to take his advice on what the regular people want to see is like,
yeah.
he's never been that. So it's like, and that's not his fault. I mean, that's,
Nah.
but
He's a kid.
yeah. So it's just like, I just think it was a lot of hands in the pot and nobody was really of the culture
Mm-hmm.
or connected to what it is. And here we are coming straight from St. Louis, Detroit, Houston, amongst the people, letting y'all know that like, hey, this what we own out here now. You know what I'm saying? And it's similar how they would say like with labels when, people just would be up in their office and not know and they just make it move. That similar kind of concept of just not being amongst and not knowing what the consumers really, gravitate to or want to happen.
I mean, you and Bow Wow cool and all of that stuff now, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like there was, for sure.
Yeah. Okay then, man. Like you mentioned before, about your mother, you having being a breast cancer survivor.
Yeah,
You know what
sure.
I mean? How was that experience, man? Having to deal with that, man.
Man, that's one of the things that's also like another life shifting moment to myself and my mentality. When I was younger, I had a shorter temper. And I guess I didn't have emotional intelligence, emotionally reactive, and things of that nature, right? And even sometimes some of the smallest things could bother me. And then when my mom going through breast cancer, here she is facing something that literally, statistically, like kills people, right? It's a losing battle. And I would talk to her and she would just be faith. My mom was a faith warrior. And she would just be, yeah, I mean, today was a little tough, but it's okay, God. And I'm like, here I am calling her pissed off because I caught a flat tire today.
Yeah.
And she is facing something that's killing people. And she like, but it's okay. And I had a revelation. One of them conversations, it hit me like, bro, you sound dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Like you complaining about something that's fixable. And here she is, it's something that she can't necessarily do anything about, and she's still faithful. And that moment started my mental shift, her being in that, her faith through it. Because a lot of times I tell people with illnesses, there is such thing as something called diseases can be psychosomatic, meaning basically you can think yourself ill. So a lot of times when people find out they have cancer, once they give in or give up, they've lost the battle. Because it's like your mind is telling your body like, okay, it's over. You know what I'm saying? So the mental, as a man thinketh, like that's when I start reading books and so it's just the mental is so important. So her mind and her heart, my mom, although like I am Reggie Son, like Janet is like a G. Like my mama
Yeah,
is so much embedded in who I am and so much, man, just like one of the strongest and sweetest women that you'll ever meet. And just like, I love her so much for, just instilling that in me.
that's dope, man.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
to anybody who's going through that, any type of cancer, I would say the number one thing is faith. We got to anchor on to something deeper than ourselves.
mhm,
I have faith in God in Jesus' name. And if you don't have faith, and you got to make sure that, first of all, gotta have faith, and then you also have to make sure keep their mind strong, keep their
mhm,
mentality, on the up. Like,
mhm.
don't, because that is very important with making it through that process.
That's dope, man. Since you've been in the music and entertainment industry for a while, man, what do you think is the disconnection between artists and DJs?
Like now,
Yeah,
well, for one, I mean, if we just being all the way real, there was a point in time where artists needed a DJ.
yeah,
Artists don't necessarily need a DJ to reach people anymore.
mhm,
Now, if you want to talk about your songs being played in the clubs or stuff like that, then yes, I still feel, I mean, of course, me coming from that field, I feel like the DJ is I still have relationships with a lot of I salute the DJ, but yeah, you got to think, I could make a song right now, put it on TikTok, it could reach millions of people,
mhm,
and then people gonna come up to the DJs and say, do you got that song?
mhm,
Without me even having a relationship with a DJ.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And after a while, you're going to have to get it to satisfy your audience, So
mhm,
I just think that at one point, there was a real need for the DJ, because how else was you going to get your music
mhm.
to the people? Now I think that's where the disconnect is, because that's not necessarily a necessity. Now it benefits you relationship wise, and to me, relationships take you further than a lot of things. But
What about like play? Because the landscape has changed a lot.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's a lot different than it was before. So what about artists? And like playlists, trying to get on different playlists and stuff.
yeah. I mean, but that
It's
don't necessarily require a DJ.
I guess when it comes to that previous relationship or trying to get a song hot, like is it just different? Is it different because it's playlist and just
Yeah, I mean, it's just the internet is
I I
is
guess the internet just took the place of what that relationship was anyway.
yeah. Like, if you smart, you still keep those though. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm,
if you just a genuine person, because like I got DJ partners or whatever who, man, we've been doing stuff, like these guys are family now. So
mhm,
even if I don't got a record for you to play, like I'm still rocking with you, I'm still coming to support or whatever like that. So I just think it's totally different now. Like, you
mhm,
don't need, you know, that connection. Now that will sustain you, because it's a lot of people who gonna have that quick pop, and then we be like, oh, you remember so and so? You
mhm.
know what I'm saying? Because you don't have no connectivity. Because it's a lot of that stuff. People who popping on, got a song or TikTok or whatever that does not translate into ticket sales or
Mhm.
them giving a good show or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a game, man. That's what I really like see every industry for real. It's all a game to be played. And you know how people used to say, like, stay true to the game? I used to say that too.
Yeah.
I don't believe that no more. Because the game is meant to be played. So I
Yeah.
stay true to myself. But
Got
true to the game is you know what I'm saying?
I like yeah.
Yeah.
I like that,
So
man.
it's all depending on how you play it. And some people play it their way and win. And power to you. You got some people whose whole motive is to get in it, make a quick make that money, whatever, and they might find success from that. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Which is unfortunate for somebody who is still a child of passion when it comes to the music industry or the entertainment industry or things of that nature. Because I'm still passionate. So that's why I always used to fuck me up when people say, um, you know, separate business from emotion or whatever. And it's like the business that I'm in, I'm passionate about. Like,
Right.
this is
It's hard to do.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was difficult for me to do, but now, I value peace, so I like protect it,
Mhm. Like, how influential you think radio is today, mainstream radio?
I mean, I think it's still powerful, especially in like a market like St. Louis,
Mm-hmm.
because we are very like local and tight knit. So to where like you getting in your car, the radio coming, even people that don't say like, oh, I don't listen to radio, whatever. Like it still can be a tool, like a powerful tool. Music wise, I don't know if it's as effective. Like meaning, when I'm on and off of it, like when people come to me and say, yeah, I'm trying to get this song on the radio, like I get it, right? I get it. Like, but there's so many way more effective ways to get your music out.
I mean, a previous interview I had, artist was like, he had his song on the radio and it did like absolutely nothing for him.
Bro, like when you put your song on the radio, that's why I used to tell artists that at one point, I don't know if it's the same now, but at one point, that kind of started the countdown to your song being played out.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so, like...
So how much time you got? 48 hours?
Well, no, I'm just saying, you got to think about it. Let's say you get a song on the radio right now and they say, oh, we going to bang this mug 10 times a day. After a while, people going to be tired of hearing it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it kind of starts, so you better have you better have in order your run or whatever you want to do, because, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and like you said you had an artist that had a song on the radio or whatever, and it might not reach your audience.
Just, there was a time where having your, your song on the radio, it's like you, it's popular.
Yeah, that was it, because that was all you could go to for your music, like for new music. You know what I'm saying? Like that was it. We didn't have Apple Music and Tidal and Spotify and all that.
I got you.
You can literally pull up whatever song you want to hear. You don't got to wait for it to be played on the radio. I'm playing, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing a song. Like, so that kind of take away from that. But as far as community impact, it's still very important. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I love most about like local radio. Yeah. Is that, outside of the music, like the music is one thing, but just like that community impact, the fact that I can put on a Annie Malone or a nonprofit or this and let them know that, hey, this Sunday off of Shreve or off of Kings Highway,
there's a unique perspective.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we can, because this is a way, because you all heard this. Yeah. So this is another way to like bring, that's more so I think the effectiveness of it for sure.
I got you, man. Yeah. I ain't gonna keep you too much longer, man. I guess I'll end with this. How did the Give Black Ball come about, man?
It actually just started from me when I came back home. I was doing these Reggie Son live experiences, and this was me being able to showcase the new music I was putting out with my band, because I realized that like, and I mean, this is not like a good or bad thing, but like when I was coming home and doing shows or whatever, like everybody was like trying to book me and like, yeah, I need you to do wow. And I was like, wait, well, that's not what I'm on right now, like this. So I realized that like the only way that I could get across what I was trying to get across was to do it on my own. So I started doing these live experiences, and I kind of started them like during COVID, intimate venues, live band, 150, 200 people, and it was dope. And that's when I dropped my Reggie Sunday EP, and man, like something I was super proud of, just people coming out and hearing the new vibe. So then that year, the holidays rolling around, I think I was talking to my sister Donna, and she was like, I'm coming home and I want to dress up or something, like it ain't nothing going on. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do something. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do something. So the bar really started just from like me wanting to have another way to kind of give the live experience, but then us dress up and all that. But then it's like my boy Q, rest in peace, Q, he had passed away. So I was like, okay, well, I want to give a portion of the proceeds to, in honoring his name and his family, BPLR Legacy Foundation. So, so it was really just ideas coming together, like as I was doing it, and then it turned into like I forgot. I think Phil had came up to me at the ball and he was like, yeah, you know this mug gonna double next year. And when he said that, I was like, oh shit, I gotta do this next year. Like I didn't even think like, oh damn, like okay, like we're gonna do it next year. So now we on year 5. So it's just like and yeah, so it's like it's become a thing of now it's very intentional of giving back to a Black owned organization or initiative.
Why is that important though? Why is that important to spotlight Black owned businesses and
I mean,
organizations?
because it's us. Like I think that like if anything the world, the country has shown us is that like we can't look to them to do for us. We got to do for us. So if I can utilize my platform, my reach, anything like that, like to bring awareness to what my people's got going on over here or whatever, or connect these dots. That's one of the things I love like about the time that I've put in is being able to be like, I feel like a connector.
Yeah.
Like in different cities that I've been in, whatever, like I always show love and things of that nature. So now like it's sometimes people from here might hit me when they get to Detroit or DC. Hey, we here, what can we do? All right, I'm gonna connect y'all with Woo. Or somebody come here, or you say, hey, I need somebody. Matter of fact, I know somebody who do that. Or just like my boy, quick plug, my boy got the BGG Foundation. It's a Bruh Got Game Foundation. He pretty much teaches education through gaming and teaches kids how to get scholarships and things like that through gaming. This is Black-owned organization. So they called me from the mayor's office and they doing something with the Battlehawks and they like, oh, we need you know somebody who does like gaming? Of course I do. I call Rob, yo, whatever. Now he does everything that the mayor's office does, they do with him. And they just gave him a product. So it's so many different stories like that of people, and it just give me fulfillment because it's like, we gotta be the ones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta be the ones. So that's why it means a lot to me. And it's also like to give flowers to people, you know, who may not get them otherwise, right? Like, because sometimes we get caught up in our chase and we think that like we not doing it. We think that like, yeah, it's cool, but I got to reach this level in order to feel like I'm doing it. And really like the process is the prize. Like the journey is the joy. Like actually doing it is doing it. Like the difference between you and this person is they just doing it on another level. You know what I'm saying? But so it's like right now, that's why like even when we do STL Fest, I always give flowers to the artists who inspired me coming up. That's why I brought the Bangers back out. That's why I brought Pretty Willie back out. That's why I made Lottie Papa. Because like what other platform are y'all gonna come do this on so people can know like or feel like, damn, we was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that shit like that, that's what give me that give me the same fulfillment nowadays as me reaching my personal goals did back then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, like it's so much more like I could really ask you, man. But you gave me a lot, man. I really appreciate, you know, your time, man. You are a St. Louis legend.
Plug, I got my STL Legend jacket on.
Yeah, I gotta get.
Shout that boy Kyle. Shop Ambition.
Yeah. I gotta give me some more stuff from Ambition, man. They got a whole lot of dope stuff over there, man.
No, definitely,
but you're definitely St. Louis treasure, man. Thank you for coming in and sit down with us, man. Building with us, man. Appreciate you.
For sure, man. Note to self, EP dropping soon. I'm gonna just do like a 3-day countdown, so I don't get no date. But when y'all see the 3 days coming, just know that, man, and just remember that, you know, feelings ain't facts. You know, good or bad. Never get too up when they gas you. Never get too down when they trash you. Keep going. Consistency, and don't get caught up in the hype, man. Do it for your reasons, not for their reasons, and you'll be all right.
That's it. We out.